I'm about to start work on a basic but hopefully quite interesting lighting project. Now, this is based on the big kind of light walls you tend to find on stages, or the backdrops for stages and productions, things like that. So where there's a huge array or grid of light bulbs, incandescent light bulbs running with I guess quite low power, so they kind of look very warm. So I found these light bulbs on eBay. They're kind of old styly light bulbs. And I've got a load of the bulbs, and I've ordered a box of light bulb holders. And so the idea is I'm going to make a 3x3 grid, so 9 bulbs in total. So I think this is the grid I'm going to go for. It's 30 centimetres square. The light bulbs are spaced with 10 centimetre spacing each way around, and a 5 centimetre kind of separation from the edge. They're kind of fairly densely packed in, which is kind of what I want. I don't want the background, the lamp holders and the board to be visible, or as little as possible anyway, because I don't think the finish is going to be particularly good. I think about a border of some kind. So maybe some... just kind of a basic kind of welded frame border around the edge, perhaps. Kind of draw the eye away from that. Just kind of an old, worn look, if possible. But I think what I'm going to do now is get these lamp holders screwed down, and maybe see if I can give everything just a matte black coat of paint, just to start things off. So yesterday I screwed on the bulb holders onto the board, and I gave it a kind of spray of matte paint before I left last night. It covered a lot better than I was expecting, but I did kind of rub it back a little bit, and where it hasn't kind of stuck properly to the plastic, it's kind of worn through a little bit. But that I think may work in my favour a bit. What I'm going to do now is give it another coat of slightly kind of brown colour paint, and then again with the matte black, and again sand that back, and hopefully end up with a slightly textured look. So with those 2 coats of paint, I'm now back to where I was yesterday, but I do have some texture starting to build up where it's not fully covering things. Also, when I start to rub back in a minute, hopefully I should start to see some of the brown coming through. I think I'm pretty happy with this now. It's had a couple of coats of paint. I started out with just some kind of matte black paint on the bottom. I tried to use a bit of slightly weird paint I bought for another project just to give it a bit of colour, but I don't think that did much. But it was the final coat of kind of barbecue paint at the end which did the trick. That I started to rub off before it was fully set, and it kind of it peeled back and gave this kind of slightly odd textured look in a few places. But given that this is really not going to be visible very much anyway, I'm pretty happy. So the other bit I was looking to add was some kind of border to it. My original thought was just kind of a steel welded frame to it, but I'm starting to go off that idea. It's not really the focus of this at all. I just need to make the kind of this part of it just look not crap. I don't need it to look particularly good, so I think I'm going to drop that idea. I did half consider using just a copper pipe, kind of water pipe with some kind of 90-degree bends around just as a border, but I don't really think this is the right thing. I don't think it's the right look at all for this. So what I'm going to settle on, for more practical reasons, just little kind of corner brackets. What I'm going to do is just fit them onto the edge like so. I think it'll act as it'll act to kind of protect the MDF a little bit. These corners will start to kind of chip and fray. It's not particularly strong or good quality MDF at that, so this will kind of act to kind of protect it a little bit, and I'll spray them kind of black, I think, as well, so that it may add to the overall look anyway. So I think I'm pretty much done with this now. The painting effect is in place and looking pretty good. On the back, I've wired all the lights up in banks of 3. It's just kind of in, out, in, out, in, out. They then run around to the middle here, where I've kind of capped it onto just a main kind of power cord coming in, and it's all taped up with some really cool duct tape. So the final bit for this is to hang it on the wall. What I'm going to use for this is a French cleat. It's a really basic but really effective hanging method. I used it on the LED light tower project, and it's for that it made a completely discreet flush mounting bit to the wall. It's not going to be quite as good as this because of the design of the back, but if you haven't come across it before, you take a piece of wood, cut it at a 45-degree angle, you attach one piece to the wall like so, your other piece to the work, and then when you come to hang it, you hook it over the top. So there it is. It doesn't look too bad. It's yeah, it's certainly nothing to write home about, but for a few hours spread across a couple of evenings, I'm pretty pleased. It certainly looks interesting, and it kind of contrasts quite nicely against the other one.